This is your weekly report on corruption in the Philippine government. Police here are hunting down motorcycle riding assailants who shot down a village councilman and wounded two seniors in separate incidents the past 2 days, an official said Friday. "We are looking at several persons and are digging deeper into this case," said Major Amel Andongan, Police Station 2 commander, as he bared Thursday's murder of 43-year-old Alberto Tampas of Barangay Rosary Heights 9. Tampas was driving along Governor Gutierrez Avenue on his motorbike at around 11 a.m. when two motorcycle riding assailants sped from behind and shot him. He sustained 4 gunshot wounds in the head, and Dungan said. He told reporters that he managed to speak to the slain official's family, who said Tampas has no known enemies. The family could not explain why he was murdered, and Dungan said, Tampas has been serving as village councilman for the past 5 years. He was the second village official slain in a gun attack in this city since January. Members of the anti-scalawag unit of the Philippine National Police have arrested an active police officer in Bulacan for driving a confiscated motorcycle that has been declared as evidence. In a statement Friday, Integrity Monitoring and Enforcement Group Chief, Brigadier General Warren de Leon, said Patrolman Marvin Solim, 40, an intel operative of the Obando Municipal Police Station, was arrested Tuesday evening in front of a convenience store along Joaquin Street in Barangay Pagasa, Obando, Bulacan by joint elements of the Southern Police District, National Capital Region Field Unit, and Team 3 of the Luzon Field Unit, along with other PNP units. De Leon said Solim has been the subject of monitoring after being reported to be using a recovered blue Yamaha Sniper motorcycle, with MV file number 13382277, which was declared as evidence, as indicated in the spot report of the Obando Police on the 2nd of October, 2020. In addition, IMEG agents discovered that the suspect had been regularly using the motorcycle as if it was his own. The arrested cop is currently detained at the IMEG custodial facility in Camp Crame, Quezon City, and will be subjected to inquest proceedings before the Department of Justice in Manila for the filing of appropriate charges for violation of Republic Act 11235 or the Motorcycle Crime Prevention Act. Bureau of Corrections Chief Gerald Bantag is suspended for 90 days to give way for a fair, impartial investigation on the death of a detainee at the New Bilibid prison who is said to be one of 2 middlemen in the fatal ambush of radio commentator Percy Lapid. Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Ramilo announced this at a press conference on Friday, saying that he was acting on orders from President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to show that there are no sacred cows in this administration. Ramilo initially said that Bantag is suspended indefinitely, but the formal notice of his suspension said that he is suspended for 90 days effective immediately. Department of Justice spokesperson Miko Clavano said the period of suspension may be extended either with the help of the Office of the President or the Office of the Executive Secretary or with the consent of Bantag. Stepping in as officer in charge at the Bucor is former Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff Gregorio Catapang Jr., who Ramilo said was Marcos' personal pick. A city councilor here on Thursday posted bail for civil charges filed against him by a congresswoman. Councillor Plaridel Nava secured temporary liberty after he posted a bail of 576,000 pesos for 12 counts of ciberlable under Republic Act No. 10175, Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, at the Regional Trial Court Branch 90 in Quezon City. The charges stemmed from cases filed by Iloilo City Lone District Representative Julian Bironda, who was a subject of Nava's ire since she returned to politics in 2019. All of the cases were based on Facebook posts made by the city councillor, who at the time was a private citizen after losing the vice mayoral race in 2019. In his Facebook post on Thursday evening, Nava said he could not discuss the merits of the case but then proceeded to taunt Bironda. "I cannot discuss the merits of the case by virtue of the sub judice rule. However, I can only say that Bironda filed the complaint because according to her she felt humiliated and embarrassed. In court, she has the burden to prove that these are all false and malicious without forgetting that truth is a valid and acceptable defense in libel," Nava said. Police in Bayon City, Negros Oriental continues pursuit operations against the suspects in the slaying of a village councilman on Friday noon. Colonel Jonathan Pineda, officer in charge Provincial Police Director, told the Philippine news agency that he has directed the Bayon City Police Chief to exhaust all means in identifying the perpetrators and the motive behind the killing of Diosdado Gemina, 52, a barangay Kagura of San Miguel. Bayonne City, was shot dead around 12:20 p.m. at Sisio Kabkaban in Barangay Bangov at Southern City. He was declared dead on arrival at the hospital, Pineda said. Initial investigation revealed that unidentified suspects wearing jackets and black ball caps and riding tandem on a motorcycle shot the victim while he was driving his own motorcycle. The motive for the shooting is still undetermined. The Sandigan has convicted former Bukidnon Rep Candido Pancrudo Jr. and Mark Espinosa of Uswag Pilipinas Foundation, Incorporated of graft and malversation of public funds for the illegal use of the former legislator's 7.9 million pesos in Priority Development Assistance Fund in 2009. Pancrudo and Espinosa were convicted of 2 counts of violations of Section 3E of RA 3019, the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, and 1 count each of malversation of public funds and malversation through falsification of public documents. Pancrudo and Espinosa were sentenced to jail terms ranging from 6 to 10 years for each count of graft, 2 to 6 years for malversation, and 14 to 15 years for malversation through falsification of public documents. The prosecution said that in 2009, Pancrudo selected the non-government organization UPFI to implement the 7.9 million peso livelihood projects in Bukidnon even if UPFI was not an accredited foundation. At the same time, the prosecution said that UPFI was chosen without the benefit of public bidding, and the accused failed to verify UPFI's existence or capacity to deliver. The accused even facilitated the approval of vouchers and the release of the amounts of 1,193,100 pesos and 6,760,900 pesos despite inconsistencies in the supporting documents, the prosecution also said. In its decision, the Sandigan said the accused acted in conspiracy and executed a devious scheme to misappropriate the public funds. The National Capital Region Police Office, NCRPO, announced the relief of its 11 regional headquarters support unit officers in connection with the case of 4 missing Sabanjero cockfight enthusiasts. In a statement on Sunday, NCRPO Chief Brigadier General John Alastomo said the sacked officials are placed under restrictive custody due to the gravity of offense filed against them by the National Bureau of Investigation Task Force Against Illegal Drugs over the disappearance in Cavite. They are charged with kidnapping and serious illegal detention as well as violation of the Anti-Enforced or Involuntary Disappearance Act. The NBITFAID filed a complaint on the 19th of October over the disappearance of siblings Gio and Miko Mateo, Gary Matria Jr., and Ronaldo Ananuvo in Dasmariñas City on the 13th of April, 2021 during an anti-drug police operation. A town councillor here was shot dead by still unidentified gunmen along the national highway in Barangay Pagagon at noontime Monday. Lieutenant Nerjasia Salih, acting police chief of Datu Montal town, told reporters that Councillor Mubarak Mobi Abubakar had just alighted from his red Mitsubishi pickup beside the highway to buy fish when attacked. While Abubakar was talking to a fish vendor of the roadside stall, one of 2 men on board a motorbike arrived and one of them opened fire, hitting the town official at the back of his head and body. Village watchmen and police rushed Abubakar to the Desiree Sir Jaime Hospital in Cabacan, Cotabato, but he died along the way. Operatives of the Philippine National Police's anti-scalawag unit arrested 2 police officers and their cohorts for extorting money from a resident whom they accused of involvement in illegal drugs. In a statement Tuesday, Integrity Monitoring and Enforcement Group Chief Brigadier General Warren de Leon identified the police officers as Senior Master Sergeant Michael Familira, 47, a desk officer of Substation 7, Station 2 of the Eastern Police District, and Corporal Nathaniel San Buenaventura, 30, designated as beat patroller of the same station. Also arrested were their 2 civilian cohorts, Juan Carlo Fernandez Zapanta and Carl Gorgonio Anito. The suspects were arrested by members of the Integrity Monitoring Action Team around 9 p.m. Monday in Cainta, Rizal. A complainant went to our office to seek help. According to her, alleged 4 men forcibly entered their house on the 18th of October and took her money amounting to 10,000 pesos and the coin bank of her daughter. The complainant was allegedly arrested for illegal drug use and was brought to the vicinity of Pasig City Police Station but was not detained, De Leon said. The suspects demanded 100,000 pesos, which was lowered to 10,000 pesos to be paid via GCash in exchange for not filing a criminal case against her. The complainant sent 6,000 pesos via GCash on the 19th of October. On the afternoon of the same date, She was brought back to her residence. The suspects kept on contacting her asking for the remaining balance. Out of fear, the complainant went to the house of her siblings in Taguig City and told them about the incident on the 23rd of October. De Leon said the law enforcement operation was launched after one of the suspects texted the complainant that he will get the balance of 4,000 pesos they agreed upon on Monday evening. After a few minutes, the suspects arrived at the house of the complainant and asked for the balance. During the arrest, confiscated from the suspects were 4 pieces of 1,000 peso bill genuine, dusted money, a small transparent plastic sachet containing a white crystalline substance suspected to be shabu, a Glock 9mm pistol and 2 magazines loaded with live ammunition, a Taurus 9mm pistol and 3 magazines loaded with live ammunition, a .45 caliber airsoft, a motorcycle and 3 cellular phones. Upon record check, the arrested suspects are in the counterintelligence watch list. San Buenaventura for his involvement in mauling incident and illegal discharge of firearm and familiar arrest for swindling, De Leon said. The suspects will be charged with robbery, extortion, violation of RA 105/91 or the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act, and violation of RA 9165 or the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. A village chief was wounded in a stabbing incident Monday in San Jose town in Camarines Sur province. Colonel Julius Cesar Domingo, Camarines Sur police chief, on Tuesday, the 25th of October, said the victim was Jeffrey Ortiz, 40, of Barangay del Carmen. Initial investigation said Carlos Mazil, 68, caused a commotion at 8:35 p.m. outside the residence of Joy Sarmiento in the village. After a few minutes, Ortiz approached Mazil, who stabbed him twice on his left arm. Police arrested Mazil after a hot pursuit operation and took Ortiz to a hospital for treatment. The police are still investigating the incident. Retired Philippine Navy Rear Admiral Gilmar Batestal was found guilty of 20 counts of malversation and 16 counts of graft by the Sandiganbayan 3rd Division for anomalous medical procurements from 1990 to 1991. In the 586-page decision of the Anti-Graft Court promulgated on the 16th of September, 2022, Batestal was sentenced to imprisonment of 6 to 10 years for each of the graft cases and 12 to 18 years for each of the malversation cases and was ordered to pay 17.093 million pesos for the amount he malversed. The court said Batestal allowed the taking of public funds by signing purchase orders and disbursement vouchers which resulted in the payment of items. The court likewise sentenced private individual Edna Gianan, a representative of a private supplier, to imprisonment for graft and malversation cases and ordered to pay a fine of 7.699 million pesos. The cases stemmed from the special audit conducted by Commission on Audit State Auditors Jeremiah Lagunda, Melba Equabara and Myla Lopez. The court stressed that Batestal allowed Gianan to take government money by falsifying documents to make it appear that there were deliveries of alleged purchased items. The truth, however, is that there were no deliveries at all, the court said. A retired police officer in a city of San Jose del Monte in this province was arrested after he allegedly shot dead his son following a heated argument while on a drinking spree on Monday, the 24th of October, authorities said. Colonel Relly Arnado, Bulacan Police Director, identified the suspect as Enrique Galapet, 62, and the victim as Erickson Galapet, 26. The two were in a drinking session at their house in Barangay Nara around 3:30 am when the suspect reportedly called his son a thief. Irked, the victim argued with his father, which prompted the latter to get his firearm and shoot his son in the head, police said. Investigators said the victim died instantly. Police recovered 2 fired cartridges, deformed fired metal fragments, a loaded magazine, and a Pietro Beretta 9mm caliber from the crime scene. The suspect was already charged with parricide before the San Jose del Monte prosecutor's office. A Tanjay City government utility worker, who is a son of an incumbent councillor, was arrested early Tuesday by anti-illegal drugs operatives at his house during the service of a search warrant. A report from the Negros Oriental Provincial Police Office identified the suspect as Neil June Cafe Manso, 37, of Barangay 4. City Police Chief Lieutenant Colonel Ronel Fungo said a team led by the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency in the province arrested Manso following the recovery of 8 plastic sachets containing suspected shabu from his home. The suspected shabu weighed around 10 grams with an estimated street value of 68,000 pesos. Fungo said Manso is considered a high-value individual on the police's list of suspected drug personalities. 6 police officers who robbed and injured a sidewalk vendor in Calacan City last April have been dismissed from the police service after being found guilty of administrative charges and grave misconduct, the National Capital Region Police Office said. The NCRPO on Thursday said the 6 officers, all police corporals, were removed after the Philippine National Police's Internal Affairs Service found them unfit and unworthy of the police service. Recently, 6 police officers of Calacan City Police Station who were found guilty of administrative charges for grave misconduct and conduct unbecoming of a police officer are now dismissed from the police service, the NCRPO said. A few months back, news about 6 erring cops who allegedly took 14,000 pesos cash from a vendor in Calacan flooded the social media and other news platforms. Consequently, the Internal Affairs Service resolved to recommend the dismissal of these former police officers for being unfit and unworthy of the trust and confidence of the people we ought to serve and protect, the NCRPO added. The 6 dismissed officers who were members of the Calacan City Police Station's Drug Enforcement Unit were reported to have stopped the sidewalk vendor sometime in April while the latter was on the way to a fast food restaurant to buy food for his children. Closed-circuit television cameras caught the 6 officers stopping the vendor. The vendor later said around 14,000 pesos was taken from him. A security camera footage also showed the officers as they were hitting the vendor's head. A police intelligence operative was gunned down in Barangay Salasahir on Thursday, the 27th of October. Colonel Jeff Fangt, Pangasinan Police Provincial Office Officer in charge, identified the victim as Staff Sergeant Jeffrey Ignacio, assigned to the local police. Police said Ignacio was conducting surveillance in the area on board his car when he was shot several times by a lone gunman. Ignacio was taken to the Jesus Nazarene General Hospital in Lingayen, Pangasinan, where he was declared dead. Motive and identity of the gunman have yet to be determined. The Commission on Audit has ordered Cebu City officials and employees to refund the 84.48 million pesos in financial calamity assistance they received in 2013 because the disbursement of the fund was not compliant with laws, rules, and regulations. The order was issued as COA denied the petition for review filed by Cebu City Mayor Michael L. Rama and Officer in Charge City Budget Officer Marieto L. Gumia. COA affirmed the notice of disallowance numbers 14-001-101, 13 to 14-130-101, 13, dated the 23rd of June, 2014. The payees are required to refund the amounts they each received and the approving and certifying officials remain to be solidarily liable under the NDs, the dispositive portion of the COA ruling said. The COA also said that the grant of the FCA was not sourced from the local Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Fund or Calamity Fund but was instead charged against the appropriation of the Office of the City Administrator and was recorded as donations. That's all for this week. I'll see you next week with more stories of corruption and foolishness within the Philippine government.